image always goes the other way. That's how it does. So we hope everyone had a wonderful Shabbat, first day of Sukkot. Havdala is apparently a little bit different during between the first and second days of Sukkot. We catch that in-between time. You ready, Jim?
Yeah.
Catch that in-between time. You know, that in-between time is probably the holiest of times. It's not Shabbat anymore, and it's not the next day anymore. And in this case, the next day is the second day of Sukkot, which is also a holy day, a holiday. And so we go from not Chodesh l'chol, but we go from Chodesh to Chodesh, right? Chodesh to Chodesh.
First, we light the candles. So.
We do.
Festival candles.
So we've got festival candles, not a Havdalah candle. And let's see if we can light them. Thank you, Harry. There we go. Got our festival candles here. See if I can make it so that you can see them. There we go. These are our candles. Lit. Let's see what else we can do here. We're not really set up for this. And, you know, the Sukkah, there's so many wonderful teachings about the Sukkah. That fragile, protective place that we have in the wilderness where it really can't keep us safe. And it teaches us that the only way to keep our loved ones safe is to make the whole world a safer place. And so that's what we have to keep trying to do. We also have the symbols of Sukkot here. We have the lulav, the three species, the palm, the myrtle, and the willow. And we also have the etrog, right? Henry knows we have to really protect the etrog. There she is. And she has a pitom, right? And that's what we have to keep safe when we shake the lulav and the etrog in all the directions. But she sort of smells good, doesn't she?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we're ready for the blessings.
I never actually knew what it felt like.
Yeah, let's see, it feels.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'am v'rumamanu mikol hashon v'kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'titen lanu Adonai Eloheinu b'ahava moedim l'simcha chagim וזמנים לששון את יום חג הסוכות הזה, זמן שמחתנו מקרא קודש, זכר יציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, מועדי קודשך בשמחה ובששון הנחלתנו. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh Yisrael b'hazmanim. Amen.
Amen. L'chaim. And I think we make a shehechianu, right?
Yeah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו
לזמן
הזה. Amen.
Blessed are you, God. Thank you for giving us life, for sustaining it, and for bringing us to this moment in time. that we can let go of Shabbat in the first day of Sukkot and enter into the second day, the holy day of Sukkot, and all of the days that will carry us through the week and deliver us to Simchat Torah, Shmini Atzeret and Simchat Torah, the day when we finish reading the Torah, the end of Deuteronomy when Moses dies, but then in the same breath we start Bereshit again. We start from the beginning.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei beorei ha'esh. Blessed are you, Creator of the lights of the fire. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamabdil ben kodesh lekodesh, the holy and the holy, and between the holy and the holy.
So people can see the flames.
Since you have two kinds of holiness here, distinguishing between the holy and the holy reminds me of, I wrote this story once about the prayer. Somebody came into the circle and he had a prayer, and there was a great drought.
Mm-hmm.
So they brought the famous guy in to deliver up all his greatest prayers. So he came in, he had some really nice boots on, and a very nice hat.
Good hat.
Excellent hat. Right. And he delivered up 24 prayers, no rain. So this other guy coming down the road, and he's got a kerchief tied around his neck, and a ball cap on. And he says, I have a prayer. He comes into the circle. Nobody knew who he was. Gives over the prayer. Rained buckets. He went on his way. Later they were talking about it, and they were saying, so who was that man? I said, that was Rabbi Akiva. Mm. And this, of course, was the beginning of a career for him. So later they were talking about it, and they were saying, what was the difference between those two guys, And in one version of the story, the rabbis are sitting around there talking about it, and they said, well, the first one, he said the prayer, he said the first one's prayers, it wasn't because one person's prayer was greater than the other, or one person was holier than the other. It wasn't because of that. It was because one transcended his nature. Mm. And then they said, and the other one? And he said, and the other one transcended his nature.
Well, what's the difference?
So sister was thinking about it. She says, I'll have to think about that. So long into the future, they discussed this event. And when they came to the discussion of the event, they said, so one of them transcended. It wasn't because one was greater than the other, or one's prayers was greater than the other, but one transcended his nature, and the other one transcended his nature. And everybody sat there and said, you have to think about that. And then there came along somebody else that said, well, maybe we heard it wrong. Maybe one transcended his nature and one did not. But that was not the original version. The original version was, it wasn't because one's prayer was greater than the other, or one person was holier than the other. One transcended his nature, and the other one transcended his nature. So we thought about that. So, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamabdil ben kodesh lekodesh, who distinguishes between the holy
and the holy.
The holy.
To transcend and to transcend. the holy and the holy.
So you didn't think that story was relevant, did you?
Now I get it.
Oh, you do.
It's relevant now.
So you're not going to tease me anymore about telling stories that are
No,
close?
that was a good story.
Okay, I'm just asking.
That was a good story.
Eliyahu Avi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi, Bimerav Yameinu, Yavo Eleinu, Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben David, Eliyahu Avi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu
Lucky.
Harry, say goodnight.
Good night.
Don't let the bed bugs bite.
A Shavua Tov, but this Shavua is the Shavua of Sukkot. And God knows we need shelters of peace. God knows we need those shelters to teach us how to be generous and kind, how to do the right thing, so that we can be part of the solution and bring a little bit of peace. Right, Harry? Can you say goodnight to everybody?
Good night.
Good night. So we see
Thank
Paul
you,
is
babe.
there and Steve. We hope your mama's doing well. And Ronnie. And we wish everyone a Shavua Tov. We think about the skach, the skach over the sukkah that keeps us a little bit covered. But know that Sarah was called the Yisacha.
What kind of permanence does
visionary.
that sukkah represent? What kind of permanence does that sukkah represent? No kind of permanence.
Impermanence.
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 And it's a visionary spiritual quality. You have to see the sky.
Gotta see the sky.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Shavua Tov. Hag Sameach.
Where is it?
On the side. See? Right there. No.
Here?
No. Right here.
Oh, yeah.
Good night, everyone. We'll be back in the morning with Psalms.